What's up, and welcome to another episode of Open Court with Derik Williams. I'm your host, Derik Williams, also known as D-Will, the coach. And what's up, family? We are back. That's right, we are back with the hardest hitting 30 minutes in sports talk radio right here on 90.7 FM WVAS. That's WVASFM.org. If you're outside that Montgomery listening area, and oh boy, guess what? Guess what? If you can't feel it in your bones, you should be able to smell it outside. You should be able to feel it when you walk through everything right now says football season. That's right, baby. We are geared up and we are ready and able and starting football season. That's right. So we're finna do a lot of football talk, y'all. We've been talking a lot of basketball over the last several months, man, as we broke down all the way from March Madness through the NBA season, through the NBA all season, through AAU season, through all of it, man, all of it, through all of that basketball. We've made it back to football. And, man, we got so much to talk about, man. So much to talk about as we are only you heard me say it right, 3 weeks away from week 0 of the college football season. And, man, oh, man, it is so much drama for this college football season. For right here on the campus of Alabama State University, what will Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. do in his second season? Will he ascend and have an even better season than he had last year? Or will he have a sophomore slump? What can we expect from the Hornets of Alabama State going into this football season, man? We're going to talk about that all throughout this season, so get ready for that. And of course, each and every week, we're going to break down the top 10 only as I know how. That's right. We're going to deep dive into the top 10 each and every week. And y'all know, I got y'all. Because I know it's a lot of y'all out there, even though we from right here in the state of Alabama, and we understand that college football reigns supreme here in the state of Alabama for us, you know, we watch college football, but I got that NFL coming. Because even though, listen, we don't have an NFL team, but I guarantee you, everybody in here, everybody listening to the sound of my voice, you have a favorite NFL team. Y'all know, listen, I want y'all to claim your allegiance right now. How about that? Right now, we are 4 or 5 weeks away from the start of the NFL season. I think we're about 4 weeks away from the start of the NFL season, right? I want you to claim your allegiance right now. Who is your team? Go hit up the WVAS Facebook page, man. Go to the WVAS Facebook page. I'll put a question up on the page. I want you to go ahead right now and claim your allegiance to your NFL team. Whatever your NFL team is, I want you to claim your allegiance starting right now. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for that question on the WVAS Facebook page. So y'all got to go on there and claim your allegiance, man, because I don't want you to come to me in 17 weeks talking about, oh, I picked them at the beginning of the year. No, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to have y'all claim y'all allegiance right now. Right now, man, we're going to put it up. So I'm going to tell y'all mine. Hold on. Okay, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it now. I had to take a couple deep breaths. I had to pause. I know that didn't make for good radio, but I had to pause and collect myself. I'm going to claim my allegiance right now. Going into this season, and here's the part about it. I know they have absolutely no chance in winning the Super Bowl. All right? I'm going to go ahead and put that out there for you now. My allegiance for this season, and just about every other season, and most of y'all that listen to this show know who I rock with, but I'm going to go ahead and claim it to y'all right now. I'm rocking with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm rocking with the Dirty Birds, right? I don't trust them. No, I know they're not very good, okay? I know it, but that's my team. However, who am I rocking with? We're going to get to that when we get into the NFL breakdown. We're going to get into that when we get into the NFL breakdown, man. But we're going to jump right into it now, man, because like I said, it is college football season, man, and there's a lot of college football to be talked. So we're going to jump into it right now, man, right into our college football breakdown, the first for the 2023 season. All right, man. We talked Alabama State. We talked about can Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. come back and build upon what he did last season, right? Can he do it? Anxious to be seen, right? We all on the edge of our seats waiting to see what that Hornet football team is going to look like going into this season. But I got to be honest with you. This college football top 10, and I get it. This is preseason. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what somebody's going to look like. But we understand in college football, it looks the same just about every year. just about every year it looks just the same. So the usual suspects are probably going to be there, right? They're probably going to be there. And here's the thing about it I want you to see. Before we jump into the top 10 deep dive, you can be used to this because it's always going to be that team that is there, and you're going to say, oh, my goodness, how and why are they even there? How and why they're there? And then at the end of the season, that team or team that's very similar to them, coming out of the same conference, something like that. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Coming out of the same conference or something like that, you're going to see them. You're going to be like, oh, they're there. And what happens to them every year? They get mollyhopped. They get mollyhopped by the big boys. They shouldn't have been there in the beginning. However, you got to put them there, right? You got to put them there. I don't agree with it, but that's just how the game goes. You got to put them there. So I know it's going to be somebody within this top 10 that does not deserve to be there. Maybe several. In my opinion, it is several. It's several of these teams that don't deserve to be there. I think it's going to be much better teams inside of some other conferences that probably deserve that spot that's not going to get it. But we're going to jump right into it, man. Number one, they got coming in. And listen, if you got an argument with who's number one, I don't care what they have coming back. They deserve it. They're back-to-back national champions. Kirby Smart has them rolling. No pun intended. No pun intended. But Kirby Smart has that team, has that program rolling. They went 15-0 last year, winning their, like I said, back-to-back national championships, and number one coming in at Georgia. And I'm not mad at Georgia being number one, right? Because they deserve to be number one. They got a lot of questions, right? They got a lot of questions. Quarterback. They're quarterback. Like they're still fighting to see who's going to be the quarterback, right? Brock Vandegrift or Gunnar Stockton. Like nobody knows about Brock Vandegrift or Gunnar Stockton. They're both unproven. We understand that they've had a quarterback there that's been there forever. And I'm not going to talk about him. He won 2 championships. 2 championships, and he didn't even sniff the NFL. Didn't even sniff it. So who's going to win that quarterback position? But they're so stacked at everywhere. Every other position, they're stacked. I mean, they're good, especially on that defensive end. All right? They look for the – I don't want to get into calling names, but I got to say this guy's name. Because he's the best in the country. He's been the best in the country since he came into the college football as a freshman. And that's Brock Bowers, number one tight end in the country. He is absolutely awesome. This is the last year Georgia fans going to get a chance to see him, so they better enjoy him. Right? Can Brock Vandegrift or Gunnar Stockton get him the football consistently enough for him to be able to be as dynamic as we've seen him be over the last several years? Brock Bowers has just been incredible. He's going to be incredible in the NFL once he gets into offenses where he's going to be focused. He's going to be a focus point for some of these. Oh, man, he's going to be awesome. He's going to be the focal point for Georgia going into this season, right? And deservingly so. So they got Georgia at number one, coming in at number 2. Y'all know, listen, let's go through it. Oh, and it's showtime. Let's go. It's football season. Y'all know Michigan's number 2. Y'all know how I feel about Michigan, right? You know I'm not a big fan of that program, right? And John Harbaugh starting off this year with the 4-game suspension. John Harbaugh will not be coaching the first 4 games of the season for the Michigan Wolverines. Will that make a difference? Will they be able, they got to navigate their schedule. Will they be able to go 4-0 with Harbaugh being out? But they're here at number 2, winning the Big Ten last year, beating Ohio State, making it to the college football playoff, even though they lost to TCU in the semifinal game. Yeah, they lost to TCU in the semifinal game, but they were very good. Michigan's very good, and they're bringing back a whole lot from last year. So they're deservingly there. However, Harbaugh missing the first 4 games, I think people are not putting a big enough emphasis on. I think people are overlooking the fact that they're going to be missing their head coach for the first 4 games of the season. Can they maintain? That's the question that's going to be asked. Can they maintain? Because they're we know what Michigan has Michiganed in the past, right? They've Michiganed in the past. They Clemson. Just throw it a shot. That's my other team I hate. But they're still Michigan is. But JJ McCarthy is back at quarterback, so that team should be very good, right? I don't know if they should be at number 2 in the preseason poll, but however, you kind of got to put them there with them being the defended Big Ten championships. Coming in at number 3, man, is also the Big Ten runner-up last year, Ohio State. And we know Ohio State and Michigan both made it into the college football playoff last year, getting two teams into the Big Ten, getting two teams in the college football playoff. However, both of them lost in the semifinals, right? Both of them lost to the semifinals. So, you know, I get it. Ryan Day is okay. Here's what I'm going to say about Ohio State. They're stacked. They're loaded, right? They got a very good team coming back, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. is one of the best wide receivers in the country, right? He is a stud. We all know the son of Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison that made his career in the NFL alongside Peyton Manning with the Indianapolis Colts. Hall of Famer, right? We know who Marvin. His son is very good. I'm just going to be honest. He's the best wide receiver in the country, right? He's coming back. He had 1,263 yards last year and 14 touchdowns. Look out for him to be very good. However, Ryan Day has something to prove to me. Ryan Day showed several times last year his temperament is kind of off to be the head football coach at Ohio State. Now, this is my opinion. But when I look at it, he had several moments where his temperament was just off. His temperament was off. Let's just keep it real. They were off last year. He didn't look like a head coach. He had times where I don't know if he let his emotions get the best of him or what he did, but he had something to prove to me, in my opinion, this year, because all of the Urban Meyer crew is starting to phase out, right? He had success with Urban Meyer's players when he first got the job. I think he's going into year 3, maybe 4, right? Now it's time for him to be able to show that he can do it on his own merit. Can he do that? That's a good question. And will he be able to do that? Right? And he's going to have to show it this year. I mean, he's really going to have to show it this year, especially with losing C.J. Stroud, losing their quarterback. Can they come back? Who they going to have under center? And I want y'all to see a common theme that I got right now. It's a common theme that I've had outside of Michigan with these top teams. And number 4 has the same problem. And I went through 3 teams, and I know y'all sitting there like, hold up, it's a team he hadn't mentioned yet. And y'all know this is where my allegiance lies. Y'all hadn't mentioned them yet. And number 4 is the Alabama Crimson Tide. The Alabama Crimson Tide comes in at number 4. Number 4. We understand they ended the season last year, number 5. They were one spot outside of the college football playoff. Only reason they didn't get in because they had 2 losses. Even though their 2 losses were probably better than most of the teams that got in 1 loss. But I digress. I digress. So I understand that. I get it. It's okay. But I'm just here to tell you, they got the same problem as number 1. They got the same problem as number 3. Who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to replace Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 draft pick in the NFL this past year to the Carolina Panthers? Who's going to replace Bryce Young? This is another top 5 team that we don't even know who the quarterback is. We understand that Nick Saban's the greatest coach of all time. We understand that Alabama doesn't reload, they replace. Or they don't replace, they reload. However you want to say it. Both of them are good and bad, but both of them are bad and good. That happens, right? Right? But we know they're just going, they're good. Kool-Aid McKinstry at cornerback is number 1 cornerback in the country. He's locked down. Put a seatbelt on him. He's taking away half the field. Young Dion is what we call him. Y'all know we're strapped up, put the seatbelt on, right? So we understand that defense is going to be a lot better on that back end, right? It's going to be very good on the back end. The question is, who is going to be the quarterback? It's really nothing else that you really want to talk about. It's going to be Jalen Milroe, who we saw last year replace Bryce Young in a spell when Bryce Young was hurt. Jalen Milroe came in and played, and he also got the mop-up duty last year, right? Or is it going to be Ty Simpson? Who's going to get that job? And I'm just going to be honest. In spring practice, neither one of them look very good. Neither one of them look very good. But you can go back to the days of Jacob Coker. Nobody expected much from Jacob Coker. Jacob Coker won a national championship at Alabama. We understood Bryce Young was very good. He was that deal. We knew Jalen Hurts was that deal. We knew Tua Tagovailoa was that deal. Right now, we don't know who that deal is for the Alabama Crimson Tide. No, neither do we like him for Ohio State or for the number 1 Georgia. All of them have questions. I'm not going to say issues, but questions at the most important position on the football field. So if they got questions at the most important part of the football field, what are we looking at? Are these teams that good? Are they going to be able to live up to the hype that they've always had? It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see. Penn State comes in at number 5. They won the Rose Bowl. That's the only reason. I don't trust no Penn State. Never have, never will. Just going to be honest with you. Penn State's always very good. But y'all, I want y'all to notice something. I already mentioned 2 Big Ten teams. That's 3 Big Ten teams in the top 5. I already mentioned 2 Big Ten teams. So Penn State, you can't make it. If you like Ohio State and Michigan, Penn State can't make it. They can't. Now, I will say this. Those 4 games that Jim Harbaugh's mentioned, like I mentioned earlier, that's big. So Penn State might be able to creep in. But however, they'll be there at the end. Penn State comes in at number 5. Number 6, LSU. LSU might be the hottest team in America going into the season. They beat Alabama last year, right? They beat Alabama last year in Chip Kelly's first year, right? He's bringing a new offense. They have all the hype. I mean, all the hype. And Jaden Daniels played well last year. I'm just, okay, like, it was moments where he wasn't very impressive to me. But he's back, and he's a year more experience into that offense. LSU's going to be a dangerous team. I'm not going to. They went 10-4 last year. They're going to be a dangerous team. They beat Alabama last year. They're going to be dangerous. I still pick Alabama, not knowing who the quarterback is over them, but I think it's going to come down in the West. I think it's going to come down to Alabama, LSU, number 4 and number 6, and whoever wins the West in the SEC, I think is going to the college football playoff. Now, I think you will have to play in the SEC championship game in order to get in. Now, it could be one of those facts where you go in and you lose the SEC championship game and you still go to the college football playoff. It could be one of those deals. SEC could easily get 2 teams in this year, right? With Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State having to battle it out, one of those 2 teams could easily get in. Right? Whether they beat Georgia or lose to Georgia in the championship game. Because I don't think anybody in the East is going to challenge Georgia in the SEC. Just in my opinion. But number 7 is curious to me. Because this team has been on a roller coaster over the last 15 years, I say. Maybe even longer. And the roller coaster hadn't hit the ascend point. It hit the hard drop. And it was thrilling. They just have yet to come back up. However, they put them in number 7 this year. And that's Florida State. Florida State is back in the top 10 in the preseason. So Jordan Travis is back. There's optimism around him. Florida State might be good. This is the highest ranked ACC team. They might be good. I got to see it. I'm going to be honest. I don't trust them. I got to see it. But coming in at number 8, USC. USC returns the Heisman Trophy winner, Caleb Williams. So can they? I don't know. I'm just going to be honest. Just because you got the high. USC has been good. They went 11-3 last year. They lost in the Cotton Bowl. But I'm just going to say this. I don't trust them much. Is that okay? I know Lincoln Riley's out there. He's getting his feet wet. He probably should be settling in a little bit. And like I say, Lincoln Riley with a quarterback, that's dangerous. He already won, like I mentioned, he won the Heisman Trophy last year. But can they win football games? Will they be able to win football games? That's yet to be seen. And I got to see it. I got to see it to believe it. Just be honest. I got to see it to believe it. I don't know if I legit trust USC. So I think they're set right coming in at number 8. I think that's a good placement for them. Coming in at number 9, Washington. Nope. I'm going to listen. Before the season starts, I don't care if they won the Alamo Bowl. Nope. I do not trust Washington. I don't trust Pac-12 teams. And I just mentioned the Pac-12 team in USC. And we understand USC is on their way to making it to the Big Ten next year. USC and UCLA will be Big Ten teams next year. So I don't trust Washington. No. West Coast teams, it's hard for me to trust them. So I think Washington is that team that I mentioned earlier. That was who I was talking about. When I said it's going to be a team that's here, that shouldn't be here, in my opinion. They're going to be there late, and they shouldn't be, in my opinion. They're going to eat up one of those spots of the college football playoff, and they're going to get demolished in the college football playoffs, as they do each and every year. So I don't understand why they keep putting them in. Why keep putting them in? Why keep mentioning them when they know they can't win? They can't beat any of the teams I've named. None. They would probably be double-digit underdogs in every game that I mentioned in the team ahead of them except USC. USC is probably the only team they won't be favorite in Florida State. Everybody else, they're double-digit underdogs. Penn State, LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia. Double-digit. So why are we even talking about them? Why are they even here? I don't get it. And then another team, TCU at number 10. No. We saw, listen, okay, TCU won semifinal game. They beat Michigan. Live hand clap. I'm not even going to give you the applause. Live hand clap, right? You get that much. However, I still don't trust it. I don't trust them. No. All right? And then just a couple others to mention. Utah, number 11. Tennessee at 12. Watch out for Tennessee. Notre Dame every year. Nope. Clemson, nope. They're at 14. Nope. Oregon, 15. Oregon's a team you might want to watch out for. I told y'all last year, Oregon was a team I was on last year, and they showed improved. They ended the season 10-3 and won the Holiday Bowl. Bo Nix, the former Auburn quarterback, did play very well last year. Once he got his feet cemented and he started to play some good football, that Oregon team was very dangerous. So be on the lookout. Even though it's a Pac-12 team, Oregon teams are very dangerous. They might be messing around and win the Pac-12. Bo Nix might mess around and make it to New York as a Heisman finalist. You heard it here first. Now, I'm going to mention this team, and then I'm going to move on from the college football breakdown. Texas. Texas comes in at number 17. And I'm going to tell you like this. Texas plays Alabama in the second week of the season. If you remember last year, Texas gave Alabama a run for their money. They almost beat them. They almost beat Alabama in week 2 last year. This is going to be a game that's going to say, how good is Texas? And we know they got Arch Manning. He's going to be the backup this year. I don't think he's going to start this year. Arch Manning is going to be the backup quarterback to Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers had a very good season last year. So I think he's going to back him up. Texas is the team to watch out for. That week two game between Alabama and Texas is going to be a big game to go forward in this college football season, man. Mark my words on that, man. But moving right along, man, we got to jump into our NFL breakdown, right? And the reason it's so exciting about the NFL, and I'm going to make y'all feel real good in about 2 seconds. Football starts on Thursday. We get a preseason game on Thursday. That's right, Thursday, August 3rd, 7 p.m., the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. And listen, I'm so happy. The NFL is smart. They are brilliant. They know how to match up games. The first preseason game, even though they're not going to play, they might not take a snap. They might play one series, right? They might get 4 snaps, 3 snaps. That's it. The starters. However, these two teams have some of the most interesting storylines surrounding their franchises. We all know that Aaron Rodgers has made the move from Green Bay over to the New York Jets. And you see what happened this week when Sean Payton, the now head coach of the Denver Broncos, former head coach of the New Orleans Saints. I know Kenny Capel might not like that too much, but listen, he's moved on. He's moved on to the Denver Broncos, but he made a comment about how bad a coaching job that last year's coach did. I can't remember his name. He's now the offensive coordinator at the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, and he also used to be the offensive coordinator in Green Bay. So he talked about how bad of a job he did last year as the head coach of the Denver Broncos. And Aaron Rodgers came out and said, keep my coach's name out your mouth. Woo! So listen, the storylines are building up. And we understand that New York media is going to be all around Aaron Rodgers going into this football season. So that's going to be very interesting to see. So listen, the NFL's smart because we know what's surrounding the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson missed all of the 2021 season. He missed the first 11 games of the 2020. What did I say, 2011? No, the 2021 season. And he missed, okay, that's it. 2021 season. And then he missed 11 games of the 2022 season, all because of what he had going on off the court. Now that all that's behind him, he's getting his first full season in a long time. The Cleveland Browns might be very good. If Deshaun Watson could get back to the Deshaun Watson before all the stuff happened off the field, Cleveland Browns going to be a problem. I mean, a real problem. And I really wanted to get into something talking about the running backs, because we know the running back position. Listen, let's go back to the golden days of the NFL. But like when you were coming up, if you came up in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, you remember all the legendary Hall of Fame running backs. Like, football was the running back. The running back was the show. And now that we know as evolution is coming on in football, it's all become about the quarterback. And nowadays, running backs can't even get paid. They can't get their money. And it's confusing how running backs, who are such an integral part of a football team, are making $10 and $11 million a year. And I know for us as regular folks, you're like, dude, only $10 million. When you got the doggone quarterback making 40. Saquon Barkley, who's one of the best running backs in the NFL for the New York Giants, signed a deal for 1 year, $11 million. $11 million for one of the best running backs in the league. How about this? The highest paid running back in the league this year is Bijan Robinson. He's a rookie. He just got drafted. He's making $13 million. However, you got Daniel Jones for the New York Giants, who is Saquon's quarterback, who's very mediocre at best, making $40 million. So you mean to tell me Saquon is $31 million less valuable than Daniel Jones? Are you kidding me? Please, make it make sense. They need to pay these running backs. And I get it. The running back position, you're not very durable. Your shelf life is very short. You can do it by committee. Guys figure I can go get anybody just to do it. I don't believe that. Because if you watch the game of football closely like I do, the running back is a very important position. From run blocking to gaining yards to catching out of the backfield, for doing so many things. So many things. Imagine the Tennessee Titans without Derrick Henry. Imagine. Why do you think Dalvin Cook got a standing ovation when he pulled up the Jets camp yesterday? Because Aaron Rodgers understands I need Dalvin Cook because I need a dynamic running back. Now, he left without signing a deal, but still, man. But still, I don't get it. I don't get it. But, man, something else I want to talk about real quick. Can Jalen Hurts do it again? Jalen Hurts got paid in the offseason. One of the richest contracts in NFL history. He got paid. Can he do it again? Can he get the Eagles back? The Eagles are going to be very good. In my opinion, I got them winning the NFC again. Now, I understand. Time has told us in the past that the team that loses the Super Bowl usually isn't very good next year. However, when you got a leader like Jalen Hurts behind center, I think that's going to be a totally different thing. I like the Eagles. Remember I told you I was going to come back to this and tell you who I'm rocking with? That's who I'm rocking with this season. Right? The Falcons are my team. That's where my allegiance lies. But who am I rocking with this season? I'm rocking with the Philadelphia Eagles. And if y'all remember last year, I was rocking with the Philadelphia Eagles last year. I really was. Go back and listen to the episode 30 or something in the 30s. Go listen to that, right? We're in the 60s now. Go listen to that. You'll see. I said that. So at the beginning of the season, I need y'all. I'm still going to put that question on Facebook. I need y'all to put your alliance in right now. But, man, last things last, man, I want something else I want to talk about before we get out of here. And hopefully y'all were able to catch it over the weekend. And that is the Errol Spence, Bud Crawford fight of the decade. That fight was monumental on a bunch of levels. And it was a beatdown of epic proportion. Terrence Bud Crawford put it on Errol Spence Jr. so bad. I mean, it was so bad. That was a whooping. I mean, a straight up whooping of epic proportions. He ended up stopping him by TKO in the 9th round. He was just beating him up bad. He knocked him down 3 times, maybe 4, 3 times, twice in the 7th, 1 in the 2nd. He just, listen, they look, and everybody's saying that, oh, he was drained. He needs to move up to 154, all of that. It might need to happen. And it's an automatic rematch clause if Errol Spence wants it. He needs to take it. But I'm going to tell you like this. Everybody's talking about Tank moving up to 147 to fight Bud Crawford. Don't do it, Tank. Don't do it. But, man, we're going to get up out of here for the night, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me right here on Open Court with Derik Williams on 90.7 FM WVAS FM, FM.org if you're outside that Montgomery listening area. And until next week, man, you guys go out and be great. In order to be great, make sure you do something great for somebody else. And y'all already know they call me Coach because I teach you how to ball. Until next week, I'm out. Peace.